blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Ik is Marina Jacobs. Ik is van Stuurbraak. Ik is een ondersteuner van Maboe.
I'm Tina Jansen and I'm from McGregor and I'm from the Rural Women's Assembly.
Ik is Abigail Jacobs van Robertson, werkzaam in my boeie.
Ik is Sina Gulaye van Stuurbraak, huisvrou.
Net Enes, Rural Women's Assembly, but also I'm a farmer.
Sheriff Ramwabi from Zolani, a youth leader. Gender-based violence has become very normalized in our community. We enter into toxic relationships because we think, just because we're young, you can't involve the third person. You can't involve another person to try and advise you. But gradually we have normalized it to a point whereby we even start lying that even though this is happening in the household or my parents are busy fighting each other each and every weekend or every day, but for me it has become normal because it's the new normal in the community.
Op die oomblik is meestal net naweke wat ons nou sit met gender-based violence. Van die mense drank mos nou naweke en as hulle dronk en dan is maar elke naweek bakleierery en die kinders lê ja onder. So dis maar routine wat ons elke dag met sien.
So I'm staying just across a family that every weekend there's so much violence in that household. And there's a young son and a young daughter in that family. Sometimes I'm really concerned about the violence. And it's always, the mother's always drunk and the father's also abusing the young daughter because the words that they use against her is the verbal words that never gets into my mind. Our father can speak to a daughter like that.
Ik heb een vriendin wat nou onlangs deur gender-based, sy was 'n verhouding geweest en sy het baie swaar uit die verhouding het gekom en op die einde van die dag het hy haar aangerand en sy sit vandag met 'n oog, sy kan nie regtig sien met die oor so is al die goed wat in jou gemeenskap en sy wil nie gepraat daaroor nie, maar sy het op die einde van die dag het sy toe begin te praat oor want het maak op die einde van die dag veel makliker as jy self oor die goed te gaan begin te praat.
Daar's altyd iets wat jou terughou. Miskien is jy bang, jy verloor jou werk. So jy moet maar stil bly. Miskien is dit die baas by jou. Miskien seksueel molesteer. Dan moet jy maar stil bly want jy is bang, jy verloor jou werk.
Ja, maanden terug het mijn schoonzuster haar sig verloor. Als gevolg, zij was verkracht geweest. Zij was een stuk met een bottelkop op haar kop. Ze had haar hele sig, een kant van haar gezicht, ze verloor. Politie doorgaan, die zaak is dood. Die persoon is nooit gevonden. Zij was er dood achtergelegen geweest. Dat het hij aan, dat het bij je gereden. En tot vandaag toe loopt die vrouw daar rond. Zij wordt herhaaldelijk verkracht, diermans. Herhaaldelijk wordt ze aangerand, diermans. En dat is bij je groot kop, dat is hartzeer. Om zulke dingen te aanschouwen.
At some point during my high school life, my parents had one of their confrontations as usual, and my father was drunk, and he almost killed my mother that night. But we managed to escape, and we ran straight to the local police station in Zolani. And the response that we got when we got there, they told us that it's closed. And this was 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening. And they said to us, it's closed. And my mother was bleeding. I was crying next to her.
In many cases, at our police station, they will just tell you, maybe a woman are drunk. And then the husband beat her up. And she's full of blood. Now she's running to the police station because she's seeking for help now. And then the police officers will just tell her, no, you are drunk. They chase her away. So there's not really a system. We have a VP center here but it's not really working for the community. It's just the building that is there. So they don't have really, they only have an outreach program when it's 16 days of activism.
But also the police has really failed women in this country. The police have failed us, because when we go for a case, there's a male figure in front of the police station. I was raped, I must again go and tell my story to a man. It's like I've been raped all over again. If I take the issue of when you have a gender-based violence case, you go to the police station, you have to wait for someone out of Worcester to come and assist you here. You have to wait. We have to wait the whole night for that, for the department to come out from Worcester to do the tests. And the hospitals are also under-resourced. There's no rape test kits. There's just nothing. There's nothing.
If your husband is beating you up, you have to keep quiet. You must not talk about it. Jy werk miskien nie. So jy en jy het kinders in jou gesin. So is partykeer hartroerend om te sien dat die vrou wil baie keer uit het gaan, maar omdat sy afhanklik is van die man se geld, nou moet sy man nog brei en partykeer as dit so naweek as die man nou so dronk en as skelre en hy bekry en sy man net 'n friend to face, sy man te gesig opsit om te sê, maar ag, dit is maar deel, ek moet dit maar aanvaar en dan partykeer as soek jy self die probleem by jou, wat doen jy verkeerd? Jy vra vir jou, nou hoekom slaan my man en hoekom doen my man dit? Wat het ek verkeerd gedoen? Ek probeer my bes so. Dis partykeer in baie opsigte hoekom vroue nie uit GBV verhouding of huwelikheid wil stap.
Or as a woman who's a migrant, you'd find yourself in this relationship and you're far away from home. You don't have any other family members. And so you find yourself in the relationship, and the fact that you're in that relationship and this person possibly brought you to this different community and you're starting to live with the people. But as a migrant worker, you don't have a lot of support in terms of leaving the relationship that easily, because you came with the person, you have children with that person, and they are the ones bringing the income in from working. So you don't find yourself having to leave the relationship because it's that hard.
Every day, it's a constant reminder of how gender-based violence disrupt families. How alcohol abuse are connected to gender-based violence and domestic violence. But also the fact of how communities see, because when the police interfere, then they say, no, it's okay, don't call the police, be fine again. So it's like Sarah would say, it's a kind of normality.
Ons kan ook nie maklik mense vertrou nie, want ons bly in klein gemeenskappe, so jy is nou bang, ek gaan nou vir Marina vertel, ek vertrou nou vir Marina met my omstandighede, maar môre dan weet almal in die gemeenskap van my omstandighede, so partykeer dan voel jy ook maar net, ag ek bly maar met my omstandighede stil, ek gaan maar nie praat oor wat met my gebeur. Dit is partykeer baie hartroerend en jy wil praat daaroor, maar net omdat jy bang is, dat jy nie kan nie, en dis hoekom dit belangrik is in ons spaces, ons, en ek, Dinia sê dit altyd aanhaal, wanneer ons by mekaar is, dis 'n safe space, en ons kan ons met mekaar praat, ons huil saam, ons lag saam.
All of us have experienced gender-based violence through another sister, a daughter, a friend or a colleague, and as we work with farm workers also, they always experience gender-based violence, whether it's at home or whether it's in the workplace. So the experience of gender-based violence are very rooted in the communities that we work in.
Now that we're speaking about gender-based violence in schools, in our churches, in our communities, there is small groups that are coming up, gender-based violence groups like in Solani currently, whereby they are trying to assist in many different ways with the youth, with the, I wouldn't call them victims, but survivors. And how do you deal with, the violence or the trauma that you've been through? So at least I can say right now there is some sort of movement.
Women should realize that our freedom are not coming from men. We are our own freedom. We can organize ourselves. We can mobilize ourselves. We don't need men to do this.
What we're trying to do is to let women speak up about the issue because too much women are still going silent about what is happening to them. So I think that is what we are trying to do, is to be the voice of the rural woman to speak up about gender-based violence as we see it throughout South Africa, what is happening on a daily basis. So that is what we are trying to do, is to let the women speak up of what is happening in our rural communities.
We see that in the urban areas, there's safe houses. When you come to the rurals, there's no safe houses for women. And the organizations who work daily with the survivors are under-resourced. They have no resources to actually help the survivors. It's like the organization in Zolani, like the organization in Montegien, wherever we work. There is structures, but it's so under-resourced. And we try to allocate and see where's the money in the treasury to support gender-based violence survivors. I mean, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of corruption. Where's the money to support the gender-based violence? Where's the money to open these closed police stations?
Die vrou ons werk mos baie. So as jy 'n hektaar van jouself het, dan hoef jy mos nie meer te gaan werk nie. Dan kan jy net soos ons paradiso, dan kan jy jou goedjies plan en dit verkoop en koop sodat jy jou eie inkomste kan verdien en jou eie boerdery op jou eie van die dag kan hê, dan kan jy mos nou self jou boerdery begin en jy het nie niks meer nodig om te gaan werk nie. Want kyk, ons werk nou vir R1000 'n week, waar baie mense dit eers kry op die plaas en hulle loop weg maar met 600-500 'n week. Waar jy jou eie plantjies plant, dan kan jy dit verkoop, maar maak jy nog meer as R1000 'n week. Maar dan is het nog meer kos op die tafel en is meer gezonder en vaarser ook, want het komt uit jou eie tuin uit.
En as jy iets in die grond gesit het, kan jy iets uitkry daaruit. As dit die ou mense sê Adams gewoonlik, wat jy insit, kry jy uit.
And that is why we as Rural Women's Assembly is doing a lot of that work to make it clear to women, but there is organization that is being the voice of the woman. So let us come together, let us take hands and work together, that us can fight these gender-based violence.
One woman, 1 hectare is om vrouwens te empower, om hulle te laat weet dat ons kan iets vir onsself doen, ons hoef nie afhanklik te wees nie.
My droom is om vrouwen Stuurbraak op te lei en vir hulle te leer hoe om tuin te maak.
My dream is to have a society without gender-based violence, where women are free from violence and that we are free from the oppression, free from patriarchy, and free from the capitalist system. Women want to be free. We don't want to be safe in a safe house. We want to be safe in our own houses.
As ek maar net om mense te help daar wat ek bly in my community, met vroue en kinders.
My droom is vir die bejaardes, om na die bejaardes om te sien.
My droom is om eendag my eie klein hoewe te hê met grond wat in my naam geregistreer is. So dis my droom. En ek hoop dit word binnekort waar.
My dream is 1 woman, 1 hectare. And within that hectare, to open a youth gallery center.
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.